I stood in a great scene. The preview on the back of the camera looked fine. I got home, pulled up the RAW, and it was nothing. Flat, blown, completely dead. I blamed the location. I blamed the light. I blamed myself. Maybe I've lost it. Maybe at 64, this is as good as I get. The real culprit was right here. Your camera screen is lying to you. Here's what's actually happening. That screen on the back of your camera isn't showing you your photograph. It's showing you a sales brochure, a boosted, processed, optimized version that doesn't exist yet. And the gap between what you see out there and what you get back here, that gap is where disappointment lives. Today, I'm going to show you three things. One, why the screen lies. Two, the menu setting that makes your ND filters a gamble. And three, the one tool in the camera that can't lie to you, even if it wanted to. By the end of this, you'll never trust that screen again. And that's a good thing. Let's start with the obvious one, brightness. Your LCD brightness is set at the factory for one job, being visible outdoors. It's not set for accuracy. Most cameras ship with the brightness cranked up a bit. Some are 1 or 2 steps brighter than reality. So you're out in the field, the screen looks punchy, contrasty, shadows are open, sky's contained. You think, lovely, nailed it. You're not even worried. You should be, because that boosted brightness is hiding blown highlights. It's filling in shadows that aren't actually there. You're composing based on an image that doesn't exist. The screen added contrast, the screen lifted the shadows, and the screen made me think I had detail where I had nothing. And here's the thing most people don't realize. Even when you're shooting RAW, your camera is showing you a JPEG. It can't display RAW data. RAW isn't viewable without processing. So the camera generates a preview on the fly. It adds contrast, it adds saturation, it adds sharpening. What you're looking at is an interpretation, not the truth. The screen is for composition. It's not for exposure. Write that down somewhere and stick it in your camera bag. We'll get to the histogram shortly, but first, there's a menu setting that makes all of this worse. And if you shoot with ND filters, it can cost you an entire day's work. Your camera has a setting buried deep in the menus. It's usually called something like live view display or setting effect. And what it controls is whether the screen shows you what the sensor is actually seeing or just a bright usable preview that ignores your exposure settings entirely. Most cameras ship with this turned off, and when it's off, your screen stays bright, no matter what your shutter speed is, no matter what your aperture is, and no matter how dark the scene actually is. The screen is showing you a usable preview, helpful for composition and focusing, disastrous for exposure. Now, this becomes genuinely dangerous when you're using ND filters. Look at this. With the ND filter in place and the setting effect off, the screen looks fine, bright, composed, and I'd happily press the shutter. But the sensor is seeing almost nothing. A 6-stop ND filter can cut the light by 64 times, a 10-stop by over 1,000 times. The screen is lying to you at a catastrophic level. Same filter, same scene, same camera. The only difference, one setting in the menu. Turn your setting effect on, always when you're using ND filters, especially for long exposures, which a lot of us do. This single toggle is the difference between coming home with a photograph and coming home with a black rectangle. I learned this the hard way. I was on a coastal shoot a few years ago, 10-stop ND filter, 2-minute exposures. The screen looked beautiful. Got home, every single frame was 2 stops underexposed, grainy shadows, no detail. A full day wasted. I'd had setting effect off the entire time. I didn't even know it existed. If you've been coming home from shoots feeling like something's missing, I've put together a free scorecard that will help you pinpoint exactly what it is. It's called What's Blocking Your Signature Style. It's free, it takes a couple of minutes, and there's a link in the description below. Right, I promised you one tool that can't lie, so here it is, the histogram. It doesn't care how bright your screen is. It doesn't care what exposure mode you're in. It doesn't care about your mood, the weather, or whether you've had a coffee. It only cares about the actual data coming off the sensor. If the histogram is slammed against the left-hand edge, the shadows are crushed to black. If it's climbing the right-hand side, the highlights are blown to white. Both of them mean you're losing information you can't get back. You want to expose to the right, push the histogram as far as you can to the right, but without clipping. The LCD might look too bright, just ignore it. You're collecting data, not taking a picture. The picture happens later in the edit, when the information is all there. Let me show you this in practice. A few weeks ago, I was at Winskill Stones in the Yorkshire Dales. It was an overcast day, the light was very flat, not the kind of conditions that scream fine art photograph. The light wasn't doing anything dramatic, and I nearly packed up and went home. But I stopped there. There was a lone tree on the horizon, and the limestone forming a natural diagonal leading across my frame. The overcast sky was stripping out the harsh shadows, which, if you shoot black and white, is actually a gift. Gives you a full tonal range to work with. Now look at what I saw on my screen. It's nothing special. It's flat, it's grey, boring. That's the raw file. And if I'd changed that shot, if I'd looked at the preview and judged it, I would have walked away. But look at the histogram. It's a beautiful bimodal distribution. Two peaks. Dark tones on the left, the crevices in the limestone, the rocks, light tones on the right, the sky, the leaves on the tree. Everything in between, the midtones, is thin. That's contrast, that's separation. The screen looked flat, but the histogram told me the image was rich. This is the moment. This is where the screen would have stolen this photograph from me. Same scene, same light, same camera. The only difference is that I stopped trusting the screen and started trusting the data. If I'd chimped that shot, the screen would have stolen it. This isn't really about screens, is it? It's about learning what to trust. The camera gives you an opinion. The histogram gives you data. And the gap between those two things, between thinking you got the shot and knowing you did, that's where the frustration lives. I'm 64. I've been burned by the screen more times than I can count. Bright days where I thought the sky was perfect and got home to a white rectangle. Moods where the preview looked dramatic and the raw looked like dishwater. Every single time the screen told me a story I wanted to hear. The histogram just told me the truth. Next time you're out, don't look at the picture, look at the histogram. It's the only thing in the camera that can't lie to you. One thing before you go. I put together a free scorecard which will help you find the gaps in your photography. It'll take a couple of minutes and it'll point you in the right direction. Now, go out and have some fun with your camera, and remember, the screen is for composition, not for exposure. Trust the histogram, that's showing you the data, not the screen. And I'll see you next time.